Hey guys, Tom Cherryholmes here with the FujiNet project and Errata Online, showing some of the quick status updates that have happened to the config program in the last couple of days. In particular, you'll notice that the bottom two status lines are now implemented as mode 2 lines, giving 40 characters per line so that I can take and put some of the new features that we have added into config. Most notably, if you'll notice, that you're able to quickly jump between drive slots by pressing the number keys, or by jumping between host slots by pressing Shift and the appropriate number key. In addition, if we go back to drive slots, you'll see a new option that has shown up called New, which allows you to create a new disk image. Now, as before, we'll actually do this particular part of the demonstration by first ejecting what I had there before. We're going to go ahead and mount a copy of MIDOS from my local server here. And we'll mount that into drive 1 so we can boot. But we will also create a new disk image by going to drive slots, picking the appropriate drive slot that we want to create the new disk in, and pressing in for new. We then give the disk a name. It can be anything, but it should end in .atr. Doesn't have to, but it should. So now we're given the opportunity to pick which host slot do we want to put this in. Now, I want to put this on my local server, which is number 4 up there. You can see it up there. So we'll select 4. And we're given a list of common disk types. I've tried to put as many common disk types as I could possibly put up here. But if anything doesn't particularly match up and you need a different size, you can also use number 7, which is custom. So we'll start by making a 90K disk. Are you sure? Yes, sure. We create the new disk, and it's immediately available for use. Now we'll go ahead and create another new disk. That is the maximum size allowed by the Atari operating system, which at 65,536 sectors and 256 bytes per sector, that is 16 megabytes. We'll put it in the same place, but you can put it on a different host slot if you want to. It doesn't matter. The system is very flexible. And instead of picking one of the available disk types here, we'll choose 7 for custom. Now, it's asking us for the number of sectors we want. We put the maximum, which is 65,535. And we put the sector size, which is 256. Are we sure? Yeah. Now you'll notice that it took the same amount of time to create the 90K disk as it did to create the 16 megabyte disk, and that is literally because the FujiNet firmware attempts to do a sparse create. That is, it will write the first few sectors of the disk, then immediately do a seek to the end of where the file should be, and write the very last sector, and then close the file. Reopen it and remount it in the appropriate drive slot. This means that no matter if you're creating a 90K disk image or a 16 megabyte disk image, it takes the same amount of time. So now that we're done, we have these two disk images. We can take and option to boot. We'll go ahead and boot into MIDOS. And we can see our new disks are kind of there. MIDOS, for this particular MIDOS, is configured for 2 drives by default, so it knows the second one's there. If we go to it, we can see it's not formatted, so we need to format it. So there we are, a nice, fresh, formatted disk ready to go. And we can move and copy things over. We'll just move just for the sake of demonstration, move that over just to show that it works just fine. There we go. But we also have that third disk image, don't we? Well, in order to use that, I have to configure. We don't want to remove the drive. The drive is configurable. It's a high-capacity drive, and it has 65,535 sectors. And if we look, again, much the same problem, 0 free sectors. No problem. We take and format the disk. And since this is a much larger drive, it will take quite a bit longer in MIDOS to format it because it has to create a VTOC large enough to allocate for 65,535 sectors. It also has to create an initial directory to handle that after the VTOC has been allocated. So within a few moments, this will complete. And we now have a nice 65,000 sector disk. Let's go ahead and configure some things for it. Now, I'm going to take and switch this drive over from 3 to 1 in just a moment, so we'll go ahead and remove the configuration from drive 3. And we will actually put it into drive 1 here. See, it's there. It's fine. We'll go ahead and write this configuration. See that our system files are there. And at this point, we can subsequently go back. I'm going to hit the reset button on my FujiNet and reboot into my FujiNet configuration here. We come back and we go ahead, go over to my drive slots, eject what's there. Oop, I chose my other server. Pardon me. Oh boy, there seems to be a slight bug there that I need to fix with the keyboard buffer. No big deal. Next pass. Pardon me. Little glitch, but nothing that can't be worked around. So we go ahead and use that big HD that we just created there, and we mount it into drive slot 1, read write, and within a few moments we have our MIDOS booting up, ready to go as a nice big hard drive. Make some directories on it, etc. And then some. So I mean, there you go. Now we can take and make make disks right from config itself. Okay, guys. Until next time. Have fun.